that's the characters, but there's 2 more tier lists. So my next tier list for this stream, we're going to be doing the characters, the story arcs of My Hero Academia. I don't know if this is the best one to do it with, but this is the most recent one I found, and I think all of it's here. It's just, I wish it was labelled a bit better, I guess, but it serves its purpose. So, the very beginning. I just realised there's not an S option here. I tell you what, we'll get rid of D. Who needs D? D's rubbish. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have gotten rid of the... Hold on. I'm a retard. Bear with me. Right. S, A, B, C, and then F. Will there be a story arc I'll put in F tier? Let's find out. So... I'm just double checking something else. Sorry. Okay. I'm surprised OBS hasn't had any other issues. It's actually been going smoothly this whole time. I shouldn't be questioning it. If I question it, it'll just get worse. Oh, let's sort out the colours as well. What's happened here? Oh, I'm gonna put you like that. And we'll have C be yellow. There we go. Right. So, the very beginning. A tier. You too can become a hero. Great introduction to Deku, Bakugo, and All Might. What's the name of this arc again? Oh, it's just like the quirk test arc. Okay. I'll give it a B. We have our first S tier one. This was amazing. Really enjoyable stuff. I like the fight between Deku and Bakugo a lot. And we get some funny stuff with Ida. And of course, this is also where we first see Shoto in action. And poor Ojiro, man. He never had a chance since the very beginning. The very beginning of Ojiro's journey to become a hero. The first person he goes up against is a guy that can completely freeze him and just stops him in his tracks. USJ, to this day, I will happily say the USJ arc is... Actually, you know what? To do what I did... Let's see if we can do it. Like with the character tier list I did. Let's do top 3, shall we? Let's see if we can pick the top 3 arcs. And I'm already happy to... There we go, we'll make it that colour. That's a good colour. We'll make it... I'm happy to say USJ is already up there, top 3. I might change my mind as we go, because I've got the rest of My Hero to think about, and there's a lot of good stuff here. So, the Sports Festival, that's definitely an S tier. Very entertaining arc, if I say so myself. The Stain arc, Hero Killer arc, again, another fantastic one. Even though he's not my favourite character anymore, this was the arc that made me completely fall in love with Shoto as a character. And it was also just a great arc to see Deku finally improving his abilities, and Ida as well. This is probably Ida's most significant arc in My Hero Academia, right? Because let's be honest, while Ida still gets some moments to shine, he kind of gets pushed out of the spotlight just a little bit. He's still in that spotlight, but Shoto and Bakugo basically take his spot next to Deku, and then Ida's just pushed a little bit more to the side, but it's still good. All Might, I don't know how you got away with using a student to hit another student, but hey, I'm sure teachers in real life would pay to have that ability. Entertaining arc, I'll put it in B. Another fantastic arc, the Forest Training Camp arc. The only complaint I have with it is honestly I wish we got to have a bit more time with the before the villains attacked. I wish we got to have a little bit more of just the characters training. Maybe this could have been the first time we get to learn a bit more about Class B. But yeah, still a fantastic arc, still enjoyable. And looking at the pictures reminded me that Shoji gets some spotlight in the art too, which is nice. Another fantastic arc. I have no words. I feel like if I put this below S, that would just make me a fake fan. It will be impossible to say I love My Hero Academia and say this arc isn't like S tier. I feel like that would just make me a fake. I'm a faker. My quirk is faker. I'm a lie. I'm a cheat. Another B, I think. The exam arc. What's this one called again? Oh yeah, the hero licensing exam. Now I got another interesting one here. I didn't like this arc originally. The whole stuff with Area and Overhaul. I didn't like it when I first watched it. I don't know. I just didn't really care about much of the new characters introduced at the time, and I just didn't find it like interesting. I wouldn't say it was bad. Like, if I was doing this tier list back when I first got into My Hero, which again, I should say this actually because the tier list will be separated into separate videos for the YouTube upload. But like I said earlier in the stream for the previous tier list with the characters, I just lost my train of thought completely. Shit. You've just seen my brain just farted. What was I trying to say? I've completely lost it. I'm gonna look back at this later and be like, I'm trying to say, just say it, you stupid. Ugh. The point is, I didn't really care much about this arc when I first watched it. I didn't care much about the characters. I really have forgotten entirely what I was about to say, guys. I'm sorry about this. My brain is just completely farted here. But yeah, when I first watched My Hero Academia. Oh, here we go. I've got it. It finally clicked in. When I first watched My Hero Academia, again, I was late to the party. Season 4 was the most recent season, so I had 4 seasons and a movie to binge. My first time watching My Hero Academia was just before, well, not just before, but like a few months before the second movie came out. So season 4, this arc was, the latest shit that happened in the anime. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I just ran out of steam when I got up to this point, because I did binge the series pretty much, or again, I just didn't fall in love with many of the new characters at the time. If I was looking at this back when I first watched My Hero, I would probably honestly put it here, which I know would probably piss off a lot of people. But don't worry, I've matured. I've gotten smarter, I think, anyway. SMRT, I am so smart. This arc is at least an A. I feel like even this will piss off some people, but I like it. I appreciate it now. Not an F, but definitely a weak arc. It serves its purpose for Bakugo and Deku. Bakugo and Deku arc at me. Bakugo and Shoto, sorry. Yeah, not much else to say really. The school festival arc, I don't know what to say, man. I really enjoy it. I had an issue with, I think I'm in the minority here. I found it annoying when the arc shifted from the school festival to the gentle criminal stuff and the brother. When it transitioned to that's when I started to found it annoying. I was like, no, I just want the school festival. Let me have this arc where the characters just get to have a nice, fun event at the school. That's all I wanted. So I remember being annoyed about that. And again, I think I'm in the minority for that. I feel like most people found the school festival stuff boring and wanted to see the gentle criminal shit more. I think we should give this arc a B. Because if I was looking at just the performance on its own from Class A, this would probably be an S. But I need to take the whole arc in general. And again, even though I have lightened up on it a bit, the whole idea of... My music stopped playing. The whole idea of basically the school festival stuff and then the villain, the gentle criminal stuff happening side by side. I've eased up on it. I still have a problem with it, and that still, I think, kind of causes some weird disconnect for the arc when you're watching it. I don't think the two mesh well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, in the middle is, I think, fair. I think we have another S tier arc though here though. This is probably when Endeavor really started to change as a character. You know? He becomes the #1 hero, but like everyone's just like, Endeavor? Is he though? Is he the #1 hero? I don't know, man. It's not just the fact I feel like he can't do as good as All Might. He's just, you know, he's a prick. He's not really popular amongst the community or the civilians, you know. He's an arsehole. Oh, what's that? We later find out that he was an absolute monster to his family too. Good lord. So yeah, good arc, good characters, Hawks and Endeavor. Really enjoy it. Joint training arc. I think this arc gets too much hate. I think this arc is overhated. Well, or at least it was overhated when this was like the recent arc. I will agree it does get, it's a bit like, I also want to get to the next stuff with the villains, sure, but an arc like this needed to exist in my opinion. I don't think it's the best arc. Let's put it, I'll put it in B. But I really am serious. I don't think this arc is that bad at all. I feel like people overhated it to oblivion. Which is a shame because I think there are some really fun highlights within it. Shinzo being a key example of that, and again Phantom Thief being a great character. He's the best character in Class B, in case you forgot. And yeah, I don't know. It's just like people found this arc boring, I guess, simply because they wanted to fast forward to this shit. But this arc kind of needs to exist, guys. Like, come on. One thing I will say, watching this arc week by week, because this was season 5, this was the first season where I was watching the episodes on a weekly basis, that fucking sucked. I'll say that right now. My Hero Academia, absolutely terrible experience when you're watching just one episode a week. When you're able to binge it, and this can be said for any arc, any season, it's fantastic, in my opinion. Even the arcs I don't think as highly of, or even the episodes I just generally don't like love as much as others, I can happily binge a bunch of My Hero episodes, regardless on what episodes they are, right? Watching episodes weekly of My Hero, especially of the joint training arc, that's where I will agree it fucking sucked. I was like, oh god, now I've got to wait. Especially when we had some of the fights take more than one episode to finish. Like, Jesus Christ. My Villain Academia, that is an S tier story arc. That is the arc that made the villains actually interesting. Or more accurately, Shigaraki interesting. Like, this was his story. This was fantastic stuff. And this image here is also reminding me of one of the best moments from that arc. Just the whole scene where it's like, these are no longer necessary. And he crushes the hands. The whole fight in general against Doofenshmirtz. It's so good as well. The Endeavor Agency arc, I don't know how they did it. I'm going to say it, I don't know how they did it. They made an arc that focused on Endeavor trying to be a better father. An arc that focused on the big three of Class A, basically. Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto. 3 characters I fucking care about a lot. And somehow this is one of the most boring arcs in the entire series, in my opinion. Again, it's not bad. I'm going to put it in B, but man, what a boring arc. What a boring group of episodes to watch on a weekly basis. My god, it fucking sucks. But now we're getting to the good shit. The really good shit. The whole, like, this is the beginning of the war, basically. War is hell. But it's also very entertaining to watch when both sides are having plus ultra moments every other episode. S tier, abso-fucking-lutely. 100% S tier. The Dark Deku arc. Top 3. Top 3. It's up there. It's fantastic. Good stuff. A part of me wish we got a little bit more, but what we got was still just mwah, perfect. I loved it. Class A against Deku, trying to get Deku to come back. Fantastic. Really enjoyable. Can't go wrong with it. Stars and Stripes, I'll give it an A. Traitor arc, definitely an arc that could have been better. I would say it's a B. It's a high B. Like, I would probably say it's higher than some of the other arcs I've put here. I think when I'm done with this, I'll pick my favourite from each row, like I did for the characters. But yeah, the Traitor arc could have been better. I wish there was a little bit more to it, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. And it finally gave us some screen time for Hagaruke. So yeah, we actually get to see her. So that was good stuff. War. Top 3. I like it. I don't even know what I could say that hasn't been said already. There's so much I could gush about from this arc, with the great fight scenes with Bakugo against Shigaraki, Bakugo against All For One later on. Almost every character gets to have a plus ultra moment. Even though I don't think much of Toga, her confrontation with Ochako and her using twice his quirk was great. The stuff with Shoso and his brother Darby, Toya. I don't know where Sawyer came from. Endeavor fighting All For One using rewind to slowly revert back to a baby. Yeah, it's the arc where we get to cheer Bakugo killing a baby. It's fantastic. That's the main reason why it's in the top 3 right there. We get to see a baby get killed. Isn't that fucking great? I've never been more happy to see a baby die in an anime. It's fantastic. Oh dear. And then we get the epilogue arc, which people shit on, which I don't really get why. The epilogue arc is fine, guys. You're overreacting. Hopefully the more chapter OVA thing that will come out later this year will hopefully make up for the one complaint I do have for it, and that is I wish we got to see the characters at an older age, not just Deku, where the other, like, during the time skip, we pretty much focus just on Deku, and I get it, he's the main protagonist, blah blah blah, but I wish we did get to see a little bit more with the other characters after the time skip, and again, hopefully that OVA will make up for that. But even with that complaint I have for it, the epilogue arc was fine, guys. You're overreacting. It's fine. I'll happily put it in A tier. So yeah, like, I don't know what else to tell you. So you're on your own anyway. Let's see. What's my favourite arc from these? Probably... School Festival. You need an arc like the Festival arc in My Hero Academia. Fuck the haters. Out of these options, yeah, I think the beginning, the first arc, the very beginning of it, that'll do nicely. My favourite S tier arc. Oh, I think part of this is nostalgia talking, but I'm gonna say it is the school competition arc. The sports festival. Yeah. Now, out of the top 3, I don't know. I guess I'll say it's you, but this is something that I think will change consistently. Like, I feel like depending on how I felt, I could say, you know what, actually no, I prefer the Dark Deku arc. Actually, no. I prefer going all the way back to the USJ arc. You just can't go wrong with it. I mean, it doesn't matter. These 3 arcs are my favourite arcs no matter what. I've locked that in now. It's canon. So, yeah, that is the tier list of every arc of My Hero Academia. Some of you will probably hate me for some of the choices, and that's great, because then I can just say you are wrong. That's how it works, right? You share your opinion on the internet, and then someone says, no, you're wrong. And I was like, well, no, you're wrong. Shut up. Go beyond... and plus ultra yourself, whatever the fuck that means. Why did I say that? What the hell does that mean? Go plus ultra yourself.